right. A little bit of TNA. This is an interesting show because we got some changes. More changes for TNA. Some of them are, we already know what's going to happen. Others are going to be a big okay. Can we make things work without that person there? Because this is going to be something interesting. Let's open BDE, the YouTuber that's now a pro wrestler, going against Nick Nimitz. Now, I want to tell you this. I didn't really have any... BDE, don't really care. They haven't really shown me much of him to really begin to care about him, but they've hired him. He's part of the roster, at least for now. Don't know how long it's going to be, but we do know he will be staying there for at least a little bit. He's had 25 matches in pro wrestling now. He's been wrestling for a year. They made it very clear he's been wrestling for a year. He wanted this. Now he's got it. The question is, as a... I'm going to be just the way he looks. Not about just his personality and how he's been wrestling. The way he looks, he reminds me of Devon Evans of NXT. He reminds me of Devon Evans, not just because he's a very thin guy, but he kind of feels like him when he first started in NXT. Literally doesn't know anything. He's got potential. Many people believed a lot of potential, and it took a while before that potential became obvious, because just jumping in the ring and doing the work is one thing. Getting the fans behind you is another. And he just didn't have it. No matter what anybody says, he didn't have it. And to be honest, even though he's gotten a lot better, he's still got a long way to go. He does. Even though he's been wrestling for more than a few years. Now, BDE, he reminds me of Devon Evans when he first started. And he's got a lot to learn. He is not. And again, since the visa crisis has been going on in Europe, or the UK, right now there is still no Danny Luna, and there's still no Leon Slater. So they can't do any X Division championship matches right now. So they're going to focus on the international title, which you'll know who's going to be going after that in a few minutes. But you get my point. There's a lot of changes here. He went up against Nick and did a good job, and Nick won, not surprised. But I got to wonder, how far are they going to go with BDE? How far are they going to do it with him? Because there's a big question. Leon Slater's not there right now. Yes, they have the international title right now. So are they going to do something with him while this is going on? It's a big question. I just don't know. Now, after the match was over, Ryan comes out, and Ryan makes it very clear he wants Mara Sade outside. He wants that meat. As he keeps talking about her, he keeps calling her. Now, we saw the match. She lost. Fine. There's no problem with that. I'm glad she lost to Genesis. She was not supposed to win. Was it Genesis? Yeah, it was Genesis. She wasn't supposed to win. She was not meant to. This is about making her have credit working with men. It's not about beating men. It's about getting the credit. Like she can hang at least... Generally speaking, she's not going to be another Tessa Blanchard. That's just not going to happen. It's not. But the key here is not about making her like Tessa or like Chyna. It's about making Mara Sade feel legitimate. I say the most closest I can feel is Jade, the Mia Yim. That is the closest we can get for Mara Sade. And there's nothing wrong with that. Mia Yim worked with men, worked with women. And I really do believe that she can reach that type of position. And there's nothing wrong with that. So what did we get? We get him saying simply, I beat you. Just shake my hand and admit you lost. Or you can give me a kiss on the cheek, whatever floats your boat. And what did she do? She didn't like it, particularly that they're in her hometown of New Mexico. She tried to whoop that ass. She got a couple of punches in. And as she got stopped at the super kick, he basically clotheslined her ass to hell, which is supposed to happen. This feud is not going to end for a while. Ryan is not ending this feud with Mara for a while. And to be honest, I'm actually glad that it's working in this type of booking, because when we had it back in 2020, when you saw Sami Callihan having a heavily competitive match with Tessa Blanchard, many people liked it, other people did not. I was in between, but not because I couldn't stand it. It was a woman going against Sami and he was selling his ass off to get her over. It was that she should have been either booked as China or booked as Daniel Bryan. That's the way I felt that she should have been booked. Here, Mara Sade doesn't have either one of those bookings. They're not making it about her being a woman right now. That's not even coming close. Yes, there is supposed to be some sexual tension added to it, which is fine with that. Mara's not going into it. She's not falling into it. But Ryan is, being the pig, as they would say, some of them. But every time you see, she has to bust her ass to get anywhere with him. And that's what we want. It's not about her beating him. It's about trying to rise to the occasion. Even if she can't beat him, she makes it competitive enough so when she does work with the knockouts, she'll have more credibility. Because let's make it very clear, when she was Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, she had no credibility when she was working with Metaphor. I'm sorry. She's a gorgeous woman, and she was not bad in the ring until she broke her hand. But legitimately, she had no cred. She just doesn't. And here they're trying to give her the opportunity to build credit. Trying to get people to cheer for her. It doesn't matter if she wins. It's about her standing up and showing that even if she loses, she can be something. And it may not be exactly like a Dan Bryan, but it's close enough that here's where Tessa should have been. But she didn't go there. This is where Mara is. Now, she's not there completely, but she can get up a little bit more, and they could do it in that respect. Not as a woman, but just as someone who's dealing with somebody she can't beat, but she doesn't quit. That's what we need. Next, we get... How did I feel about the International Championship non-title match? It was not bad. This was about the story of Stax not getting help from Ariana Grace anymore because she wants to be the good little girl of her daddy. Someone, I don't know who, decided that this storyline is not working. But the storyline really needs to be where it should have been. Stax has the daughter, and the daddy wants to prove to the daughter that he loves her, that he'll do whatever it takes to get her back, and go up against Stax in the International Championship. But that's not happening now. She's now changed, and I would have thought that they wouldn't go there, but they have. And the key here is this. Whatever direction they're going in, it better be good, because the other storyline was seemingly the best option they had. Now, Ariana Grace is not in the corner of Stax anymore. She wants to be a good little girl for her dad. And Stax is not happy about that. So what does this mean? I don't really know where they're going with this situation. But it is obvious that someone said, this is not working. We got to turn. We got to pivot. The question is, did they make the right decision of pivoting? Because even if the story wasn't great, I think it would have been the best story for them. This is just me. They're going to have to convince me that whatever they're trying to tell now is better than the one of Ariana Grace in the corner of Stax, who is the international champion, and her daddy, her father, had to fight her fiancé and prove that she's made the wrong choice in him and prove that he loved her. That he wasn't a delinquent dad. That's what the story should be. But whatever this is, I don't know yet. Let's see what happens. Next, we get Elijah versus Hunch. This is trying to close this story, but then open a new one. Because here's the thing. They've been feuding for a couple of months now. Elijah and Ali. And now it's reached a point where they must believe that they want to add in a third element in this situation. Now, Ali, at the corner of Hunch and everyone else, of course, Elijah wins. I'm not surprised. The match wasn't too bad. Now, I know people think Elijah can't really wrestle very well. Elijah is not one of the best wrestlers. He's stiff. He's stiff in the ring. But he does make his work not bad when it comes for selling. Remember, it's not about getting every spot in. It's about making sure that when you do the match, that you make your opponent look good as you're looking good. Hunch is a great wrestler. There's no lie about that. Elijah, yes, he's a very stiff wrestler, but it does not mean he isn't a good seller. He's not bad as a seller. He can sell most of the moves he takes and most of the moves he gives. So he's somewhere in the middle of the road. And that's not a bad thing as long as you got relevancy. He won. He got the beatdown. And when it was all said and done, even though he did manage to get back up and stop them from trying to hit him with a guitar, we get Jada Stone showing up, doing a vid pack. Well, trying to do a vid pack. And the Order 4 comes into play. And she said, "What are you doing? This is my time. I'm making my video." And who gets upset? It is Mustafa Ali. He's making it very clear, get the hell out of here. I got something to say. He says, no, this is my time. So someone we haven't seen wrestle in a while, someone who's been mostly a manager, a Miss Tasha Steelz, steps in and says, girl, you're showing disrespect to Mr. Ali. And she says, I'm not getting disrespect by nobody. And she gets decked in the face by Miss Steelz. And after it's all said and done, they walk away. And Miss Steelz, after leaves her a little handprint, well, pretty much an elbow print, in Miss Stone's face. Someone says, want to walk with Elijah? And she says, yes. So now someone decided that they want to start promoting a Jada Stone. So they decided to team her up with Elijah. So now we're going to have Elijah with Jada Stone with a Steelz and Ali. That's what the way it looks like. And at this point, they got to get Jada Stone over. Now, mind you, I'm going to say this right now because I've only seen her wrestle once. Does she talk well? For the short amount of time we saw, yeah, she seemed to be able to talk. But the question here is this. Can she actually work? Not a match, but storylines. Because, like AJ Styles said, he wished he went to NXT and actually learned the system that way because he had to struggle. A lot of wrestlers do not understand how to do characters, how to do stories. In some cases, they don't know how to sell or how to do psychology in the ring. And this is what Jada Stone is going to be up. She's got a lot to prove. If she doesn't prove it, I'm going to poon her ass. I'm sorry. It's not about if I think she's a beautiful woman. She's not a bad-looking woman. This is not about her beauty. And this is not about the work she just does in the ring. It's about her overall amount of work she does as a pro wrestler. Her look, her in-ring work, her charisma, her mic skills, and her psychology. Whether it's in the ring or out of the ring. And that's the big question. Next. Miss Black just showed up. And let me give it to you like this. I found out that Casey Navarro is with Elena Black. Lucky bastard. But I want to say this. Being that this is the first official match, they decided to use someone from New Mexico. Actually, it's a weird thing. I haven't seen that name in a long time. Not the wrestler, but that name particularly, because weirdly enough, I had a relative who had that name, Rufy. Rufy Ray is the one who got in the ring, and it made me think of a family member who has sadly passed away. And it was nice to see that a name like that still exists, and particularly is a wrestler name. It actually makes me kind of happy. Even if Rufy Ray is not part of TNA, it's nice to know that a relative of mine, and actually a cousin, her name does still exist somewhere. I mean, it's always going to exist. Someone's going to use that type of name. But it was nice to see someone using it. Okay. Daria on commentary did not feel good. Now, I'm not saying she can't do commentary, but legitimately, I wasn't feeling her on commentary tonight. Now, mind you, she could have had something that was just feeling a bit off, but I don't know. It was something. But for me personally, she felt off on commentary. Now, was the match good though? I'm going to tell you this. I've not seen Rufy Ray, so I don't know if this is her normal way she wrestles, if this is how she wrestles good or not. But I'm going to tell you this. When you look at Elena Black is Elena Black. She's here. She's not here. She's not here. She's here. She's a average wrestler. There's nothing wrong with it, but she's average. She has the ability to go in the ring. She can tell a story with somebody who knows how to really tell a story well. She can't keep up with them to a certain extent, but she's an average wrestler. Yeah, she's got a body to die for. But if you're going to be honest, she's average. Now, mind you, there are wrestlers who became very relevant just because of certain other things other than their wrestling. Like the Brooklyn Brawler became one of the most synonymous wrestlers there was. Not because he was a great wrestler. He was very good. It was his characters and his gimmicks that he did. The Brooklyn Brawler, the Bronx Brawler, Kim Chi. He's done multiple different types of things. Donk. And it wasn't just his wrestling. It was his character development. Or can he sell a character? And with it, Miss Black has a lot to prove to me that she can really make it in TNA. Because they kept trying to push her in NXT, but she never really got very far. Now, she did get the boob job, and she looks great doing it. But the question is it going to be all about her tits? Or is it going to be about that she can sell stories? Can she do things? Now, mind you, over the years I've seen her, she's done decent work, but now she's in TNA. It's a different style of booking. It's going to be a question of can she sell it? Moving on. Let's see here. The Righteous with the Hardys. The Righteous wants to team up with the Hardys. Join forces. Question's going to be, how are they going to join forces? How are they going to make this interesting? And will we get another team other than the Righteous dealing with the Hardys in TNA? It's going to be a big question because, yes, we're going to have the system, yes. But it's going to be another question of what else are we going to have or who else we're going to have. And since we're talking about the system, and we are talking about sorry about that. I thought my batteries died. Unfortunately, I've not been able to get the batteries I normally use for my Zoom H1N. Batteries are dead. I have a few batteries that are left, but they're the really cheap ones. You know how long they last. And I thought the thing died. So anything that you saw that would quick cut is because I had to check the camera and the batteries on my mic. Now, let's talk about the system. We know Moose is now ejected from the system. They made it clear that Moose was only caring about himself. Nah. Then, we know JDC is done. Of course, he's not wrestling anymore. He's finished. He's not going to wrestle anymore. I was kind of hoping that JDC would become a manager. And if he wouldn't be a manager, he will be still working with TNA. I'm hoping, this is me, got no proof, that JDC stays in the wrestling business, but now works in the back. That's what I'm hoping for. And he stays with TNA. There's nothing wrong with him working in the back. Like Sami Callihan. He's going to still be doing his other promotion and working with TNA as well. And I'm hoping JDC works with him. I really do believe they both got a good amount of good minds and good knowledge. So I'm hoping JDC doesn't just leave the wrestling business forever and not even work as someone in creative or be a promoter or something. That's what I'm hoping for. Maybe he'll work in a dojo and he'll start his own school. That might be what he may do. But they made it clear that both of them were just nooses around the system's neck, and now the system is reborn. But the person that didn't like that is Alicia. Alicia came out and made it very clear. What the hell did you do this for? We're supposed to be ride and die. And you didn't tell me. And Eddie said, you know what? I had to do it because you would not understand. And you got to be with the system or you can be gone from the system. And she made it clear, I'm done with the system, and walks away. So there's a good possibility that she's going to work with Moose exclusively. That's going to be interesting because if Alicia now has left the system, she would be Moose's manager. And this will be interesting in how they're going to book Moose with Alicia going against the system, because that is going to happen if Moose comes back, which I know he'll come back. He's not done with wrestling. But how they're going to have Moose with Alicia and make it how it's... I don't exactly know how they're going to make this really interesting, having Alicia as his manager, but they're going to do something with her working with Moose. I doubt they're not going to team them together because it makes the best sense. Now, let's talk about Feast. Well, you know what? No Holds Barred. I'm going to get this over before Feast and Fire. No Holds Barred. AJ Francis versus Rick Swann. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I saw, if you saw my NWA, it was the previous episode before here, I believe, and Rich was up against Manson, the Thrillbilly. He's the current NWA champion as far as I can see. I've only done 3 episodes of NWA. He is working, and to be honest, I am hoping, really hoping, this time around for Rich, because this isn't the first time Rich has come back, and come back because of something other than an injury. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm saying this because he really looks good. I am hoping, and this is me, I'm hoping so much that his life is going to be really good now for his wife, Sue Young, and a child. I am hoping so much that he straightened his ass out permanently. I had to say that because this is something for me personally. It's something I care about. Good, no holds barred match. I know not everyone likes AJ, but I truly believe AJ Francis has done some good work in the last year and a half. He has. He's done some actually good work. There's no way you can't see it. And he has done it. Do I still believe he should have left Tennessee Whiskey off the table for about a year? Yes. But he's still been doing some really good work, and lucky he hasn't been badly injured while doing it. Rich won. Now the question is, what is AJ going to do now, and what is Rich going to do now? Because this should be the end for both of them. Don't know. It's going to be a big question. Now Feast and Fire. He is now gone. We'll miss him. I think maybe that might be the title. I'm going to say this. I knew, like most people did, that there was a good chance that Steve Maclin was going to leave TNA. Like the Rascals, his contract was literally up. Now, either he was going to resign, or he was going to either go to WWE, or he was going to go to AEW and join Deonna Purrazzo. That's his wife. She's there. He may join with her. Honestly, I don't know if they'll do anything with him, but if he wants to be with his wife, more power to him. That's his call. So what did we get? We got Eric Young, who got his briefcase. We don't know what's in it, but pretty much we know it's a tag team, was it tag team? Yeah, tag team title opportunity. Trey got the International Championship. Now, we already know that Leon Slater is still stuck in the UK. He cannot come back. So they had to give him the international title opportunity because there was no way to give him the X Division. Just couldn't do it. They can't give it to him because the title's not even in the country. So they had to do that. Eddie Edwards now has the world title, and he did meet up with a Mike Santana after he got it, after he opened the briefcase, and notice what he's got. I'm going to say this. Did they make the good choices here? Yeah. Now, I know you're going to say, dude, wait a minute. What happened if Eric Young's briefcase is the X Division title? They just didn't show it. Well, like I said, until Leon Slater's able to get here because of, Remember, there's a visa problem. He just can't leave the country. So until then, they're either just going to have Eric not show it, or they're going to have Eric teamed up with somebody else that's coming in the company who will be for the tag division. It's going to be either he's got a tag team title opportunity or the X Division opportunity. Don't know which one. It's going to count on how long they're going to wait with that briefcase. It's just a big question of how long. I will tell you this. This wasn't a bad episode, but I'm not going to lie. Knowing that Steve Maclin's not there now, and he made such a mark in TNA in the last couple of years, particularly during the pandemic era, I'm going to miss him. Now, Tom, let's make it very clear. When you saw commentary, when it came to Matthew and Tom, they weren't lying about their feelings. And Tom himself, Tom Finnegan, he was legitimately emotional. He didn't start crying, but he was upset that now his friend is gone. Of course, he already knew it ahead of time, but he was legitimately upset. That wasn't, I believe, a work. I believe that was a shoot, because his best friend for 10 years has now left the company that he's now a part of, and he got a job because of him, legitimately. So I think that was a legitimate shoot from Tom. And, of course, Matthew. Matthew and him have been friends for years as well. But he's gone now. I'm going to miss him. And will TNA be able to make something when he's gone from the company? Because remember, a lot of what's been going on with TNA, he helped to make it really important. He's one of those people. So now with him gone, the question's going to be, who's going to take his place? It's not Mike Santana. He's doing something entirely different. We need Steve, a replacement for Steve. The question is, who? I don't know. We're just going to have to see how they're going to book people. And I hope you enjoyed this Impact Wrestling review. Please give me a comment below. I should be doing Royal Rumble. Hopefully you'll like it. Hopefully it's going to be good. Peace.